coined by WHO. Is the word which is coined by WHO, and it is called dietary approaches to stop hypertension. So ये specially blood pressure patients के लिए होती है, जिसमें उनको सारे ऐसे फूड दिए जाते हैं which are very very low on like sodium, and they control the blood pressure. So in this the foods that are included are the grains, whole grains छिलके वाले, vegetables, fruits, milk, low fat milk, meat, lean, 2 or less servings. Like we don't give only in fact meat, we just replace the non-veg protein from the vegetarian source of protein. So it says down there, according to Dash, the following diet brings about a healthy reduction in the blood pressure, like high amount of fruits and vegetables, inclusion of fish. So now we will not give fish. WHO does recommend fish because WHO तो mostly अमेरिका और यूरोप को भी cater करती है और वहाँ पे बहुत मीट खाते हैं लोग, तो इसलिए वहाँ पे बट वहाँ पल्सेस नहीं खाते, दाल कहाँ खाते हैं यूरोप और अमेरिका में, बहुत कम. दे मे हैव लेग्यूम्स, और उसको भी कैंड वाले लेग्यूम्स लेते हैं, लाइक कैंड बीन्स. They don't make fresh beans the way we do. So but then here in India we are very fortunate to have all the dals and all the pulses and legumes of different kinds, 500 plus variety की आती हैं all over India. So please उनको आप use करो. Inclusion of fish will not be there, and omega 3 के लिए you have to use 30 grams of flax seeds per day. So remove the fish and add 30 grams of flax seeds per day. Inclusion of low fat milk, reducing of the fat intake obviously, and reducing of the sodium. So we don't give them a very high sodium food. We Dash diet में हम normally milk को बहुत कम कर देते हैं और green leafy vegetable नहीं देते हैं, and we give them the low sodium foods generally. So one meal try and give them with salt. So when you give a chole salad or a rajma salad, उसमें ऊपर से कुछ salt डालने की जरूरत ही नहीं होती है. So that is how you can give it to people. So this is the Dash food pyramid. Normally food pyramid में क्या होता है, नीचे सबसे पहले नीचे cereals आते हैं, यहाँ पे उल्टा है, यहाँ पे सबसे नीचे fruits and vegetables आए. So it says to take 8 to 10 servings of these in a day, और उसके ऊपर whole grains आए हैं, ठीक है. एक तरफ वो muesli type कुछ porridge पड़ा हुआ है, दूसरी side whole grain bread पड़ी हुई है. But in India bread would mean chapatis. Okay, this is again made by the WHO, इसलिए bread बनाया हुआ है because रोटी तो हर जगह खाते नहीं है. So हम bread नहीं खाएंगे, we will have chapatis instead of this, which are made from whole grain, whether ragi or bajra or jowar or wheat flour or whatever. फिर उसके ऊपर protein का section है, where on the left side we see low fat dairy, and on the right side we see seafood because it is very low in SFA, poultry and lean meat. Then uske upar there are beans, nuts and seeds. That's what we can give to people. And oils and salad dressings, like it has to be oil based. It doesn't have to be like thick and saturated. Just put on that line. Okay, और सबसे ऊपर, which is the tapering end of it. Switch on this light. So सबसे ऊपर is sweets. So sweets is all the mithai and the white sugar, jaggery, everything you have to stop. So for these patients, if they tell you we don't have sugar but we take jaggery, we take honey, so well everything is a no for them. Okay, so you don't have to give either. So yeah, that way. So we don't give them sweets as well. So this is what is the Dash food pyramid that is meant for people. So you have to remember all these things. So this is heart pumping yoga sequence. ये वाले yoga exercises हम recommend करते हैं अपने patients के लिए. ये पूरी cycle है. First is that forward bending, point number 1. Then point number 2 is knees to elbow, like resting on the arms, and one leg then the other leg like that. Then the 3-legged pose, which you can see in the third sequence. Fourth is the chair pose. Again, knee and elbow, then the three-legged, and then the chair pose, and coming back to the forward bend. This is the whole sequence which is repeated, which is very good for the CVD patients. So you can actually, you are going to get this slide, so you can use this for reference and use this yoga, because yoga mein na, as I told you that patients को आप running, jogging, treadmill, bicycling ये सब नहीं बोल सकते हो, because उनका heart बहुत weak होता है और उनका lumen भी बहुत narrow होता है, तो उनका blood flow is very restrictive and the optimal amount of oxygen does not flow to the required muscles. So we don't recommend them very harsh, but this is very easily doable. और इससे पेट भी लोगों का अंदर जाएगा, because ये सारे एक्सरसाइज वैसे हैं जिनमें ना टमी पुल इन करना पड़ता है. So as in like, you know, whenever we are exhaling, you have to pull in your tummy. So जिसमें भी झुकने वाले poses होते हैं वो exhalation poses होते हैं, और जितने भी stretching वाले poses होते हैं वो inhaling होते हैं. तो इसमें exhalation है तो tummy is pulled inside. So that way also it is going to reduce the abdominal or central obesity at the same time. It will blood pressure and it will also give a good heart pumping activity. So these are very good yoga sequence. Now we'll talk about cardiac rehabilitation. So many of our students are working in the cardiac rehab centers in Bombay and from Bombay and Pune. Lots of ex-students, because each time Bombay and Pune I get to go very, very often. हमारे 3 इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं बॉम्बे में और 3 इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं पुणे में, और बहुत ज़्यादा न्यूट्रिशन वहाँ चलता है. ब्यूटी से भी ज़्यादा न्यूट्रिशन है, कॉस्मेटोलॉजी से ज़्यादा है. बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं, आप में से भी बहुत सारे होंगे बॉम्बे एंड पुणे से. सो वहाँ के बहुत सारे हमारे जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं, दे वर्क इन द कार्डियक रिहैब सेंटर्स. दिस इज़ अ वेरी इन थिंग दीज डेज, बिकॉज हार्ट हेल्थ इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर्म ऑफ हेल्थ, स्पेशली इन द सीनियर citizen and especially in the ones who have gone above the age of 60. So in those cases it says that they are made to go to the cardiac rehab and stay there for about a week or 10 days. There are different packages. There is 1 month package, there's 21-day package, there's 14-day package, 7-day package. So as per your convenience and the condition of your health, you can opt for any of the packages. And in this cardiac rehab centers, it says that so more than million people survive from heart attacks because of going into the cardiac rehab, and this increases stamina and strength and promotes recovery. और वहाँ पे खूब सारे dietitians and weight management consultants होते हैं cardiac rehab centers में, जो बहुत closely customize करते हैं lifestyle and diet for these senior citizens. They may not be senior. I mean, there are people who are 40-year-old and 35-year-old also who are suffering from a lot of cardiac problems. So it says that those who participate in the cardiac rehab programs, they have 46% reduction in the overall death, which is a huge number. So what basically it all means, you can also apply for jobs in these. So cardiac rehab centers there is a customized outpatient program of exercise and education. So it is, they're made to exercise, they are recommended the diet. If they're living in that cardiac rehab, they are given the diet from there only. And there is a consultation session also, and which continues even once they have come back home. Okay, so that is how it is. So it says in the second paragraph, cardiac rehab often involves exercise training, emotional support, because these patients are also senior citizens, so इनके बच्चे इनसे दूर हो गए हैं, इनको problems हैं, they were all there, like working throughout their lives, very functional physically and mentally. Suddenly they've retired from their offices also, so they also feel very depressed and they feel as if they are not really contributing and they are not financially stable or earning anymore. So because of which they have lots of depression and anxiety and mental issues also. So even that kind of a support is given to them here. And then education about lifestyle changes to reduce the heart attack, which you guys give. All the lifestyle management consultants and dietitians give this, and such as eating a heart healthy diet, keeping a healthy weight, quitting smoking. All these things are actually told to them so that they can be helped. And it says here in the third para. The goals of the cardiac rehab include establishing an individualized plan to help you regain the strength, prevent your condition from worsening, reducing the risk of the future heart problems, and improving the health and the quality of the life. So this is what it involves. How? We'll see now. So they include medical evaluation. So there are healthcare workers also other than diet consultants. So हमारे students जो होते हैं वो सुबह जाके शाम को आ जाते हैं, you know, और ये cardiac rehab थोड़े से city से दूर होते हैं. Like there's so many of them between Bombay and like in Nasik area. You know, like because Nasik area is like a lot of oxygen and so it is close to Pune also and it is close to Bombay also. So people have to travel, like even our consultant, jo hamare students who are working, they travel an hour and they go by bus every day. And they work only about from 9 to 5 or 9 to 4, something like that. And they do daily up down. They don't stay there like these patients and the other healthcare workers. So medical evaluation इनका होता है जिसमें healthcare workers evaluate करते हैं that what is the status of their health right now, what are the medical limitations, like you know that how serious their problem is, can they walk, can they move, can they run on a treadmill, what speed they can work as, you know. So इसके लिए सारे test होते हैं उनके cardiac rehab centers में, and then the progress is tracked in the period of that 1 month that they stay there. And then the next is physical activity. So they are made to do physical activity there. So you also do it with them, you know, like you have to stand as long as they are all doing it there. And there are special weight training instructors. There are aerobic instructors. There are gym trainers. They all have gym there. And they can also go for a normal walk or a normal sprint if they feel up to. And what you also have to assess is that how risk of injuries can happen to them if they don't have functional knees and all that. So you have to see that what they can do, like walking, cycling, rowing, jogging and other activities. And they are usually made to exercise there 3 times in a week because they are not very healthy, so they are not expected to work out on a daily basis. And they are also given like proper technique of working, like we do short stretch and warming up before we go for a walk, and after a walk you should always end up by cooling down or by long stretch. That they are taught to do there. So you know, at the pace their body is comfortable with. So that is what we do. Then there is lifestyle education which is given to there, in the sense that, you know, what to eat, what kind of diet, why not to eat the SFAs, why to actually quit smoking, why they should not be drinking. Even if they want to drink, then you can recommend them to drink red wine and things like that, you know, which is okay to have. Like, so how exercising is increasing their HDL level, how they should maintain the healthy weight, they should not smoke anymore. So till the time they are in the rehab center, of course they are not smoking, but once they go out, then obviously they should not be restarting it again. So you have to counsel them and actually alter their totally mindset, you know, which is very important. So you also have to help them to control the blood pressure on their own, diabetes and high cholesterol, through the dietary management. So you have to explain to them the importance of controlling these on their own. And you know, like the medications of course are monitored by the doctor. Then the next point is support. So all the depression, anxiety, all those support system has to be there, you know, with these patients, and which will continue even once they have quit from this rehab center. So you have to tell them that if you get depressed, don't ignore it. Depression can make the cardiac rehab program more difficult, and it can impact your relationship in other areas in your life and health even in the future. So counseling helps them to cope with depression and other feelings. So you know, like these things are given, and to make them financially independent if they think that they are not financially independent anymore and they're retired and they're dependent on their children for money. So you have to, there in these rehab centers, there are support system to teach them new skills. you also, to make them financially independent. So even that is part of it. So anything that they love to do, they can. If they love to cook and open a training center of cooking, then those classes are held for them. If they can do any other vocational training, like how to make the sweaters and bags or stoles, that is taught to them in the rehab centers. So this is how the support system works. So this is what is done in the rehab centers. So basically in the cardiac rehab centers, it says that after the cardiac rehab program ends, they will continue the diet, exercise and other healthy lifestyle habits that they've learned for the rest of their life to maintain the heart health benefits. And the goal is there that before the end of the program, they're very confident of living a healthy life, and they have learned and they've got empowered themselves. They're not dependent on us all the time, right? So cardiac rehab patients will gain strength, learn heart healthy behaviors like regular exercise and heart healthy diet. They will cut bad habits like smoking. They will learn how to manage their weight. They will find ways to manage the stress like yoga and meditation, which is also part of the rehab centers. Then learn how to cope with the heart diseases, decrease the risk of coronary artery diseases and other heart conditions, because they are taught all of them there. So we'll talk about the World Heart Day. So the world today celebrates the World Heart Day on 29th of September 1999 is when it was established. We at VLCC also celebrate it, where our students go to different sectors and they educate people on the healthy heart and healthy habits. You can do it in your, like last year, I remember last September, they had made charts and posters and they had put it. Some of our students had gone to the morning walk park, and kind of done the BCA and planned the free diet chart for all the heart patients. So some of them had the nutrition consultation, held within the premises of VLCC Institute free of cost. So some did so Kirti Nagar in Delhi had done the blood donation camp that day. So like every institute does it in a different way. और जब वो blood donation camp हुआ था, उसमें I was also part of it because I was present at Kirti Nagar Institute that day. And you won't believe that out of 300 people, only not even 20 of us could donate blood. Only healthy people were 20 out of 300 who had come to donate the blood. Because अगर आपको कोई भी medical problem होती है, अगर आपका hemoglobin कम होता है, आपकी sugar गड़बड़ होती है, आपको diabetes होता है, या आपका cholesterol high होता है, या BP normal होता है, या उसमें से मतलब सबको रिजेक्ट कर दिया उन्होंने. इतने सारे आउट ऑफ 300 only 20 could give the blood. So this is the hard reality of today's world, that you guys have the responsibility of improving, because वो उन 300 को बाकी के जो 280 candidates थे जो blood donation इतना noble cause के लिए आए थे, but they could not do it because their body was not healthy. So that is our responsibility, you and me. We have to fight this kind of a situation together, and this is not just in India. I think it's a global problem that is there. So that's about it. When you see this figure, this is exclusively for your heart. As you can see, parsley, celery, apricot, avocados, fish, bananas, pomegranates, cashews, walnuts, and these kind of apples. So all these fruits and vegetables which are kept here, so they are actually the heart healthy ones. So whole grain cereals nahi hai, you can please put it in there. Okay, so this is about me when you talk about the diet and cardiovascular diseases. So I hope you all are very clear about this topic of diet and heart diseases, and you will be able to make a healthy diet for people. And so diet chart हमने आपको sample के लिए दिया है, but don't impose wake up at 6 o'clock, because I give you a sample diet chart. If your patient wakes up at 6:30, the timings will change accordingly. If your patient wakes up at 7, the timings will change accordingly. But But if your patient is waking up after 7 o'clock, you have to tell them to sleep on time and wake up early, because we don't recommend anybody waking up an hour after the sunrise. They will never have a healthy heart. Okay, so you have to remember that all that I told you yesterday about and the importance of early mornings, that also you have to give to them. Besides, tell them to meditate for about 5 to 10 minutes, because in my personal experience, when these hypertensive and CVD patients had come to me, most of their cases were born out of stress. Okay, there was a lot of stress in their life. So when you just tell them to quiet their mind for about 5 to 10 minutes in a day, or they can just listen to music for about 5 to 10 minutes in a day and not they let their mind wander, even that takes care of a lot of stress, and it gives a lot of peace in the mind and in the bodies. So as we had studied, you had asked about the placebo effect. Okay, so placebo effect actually is that when you really believe that something is happening to you, it will happen. When you believe that you have trained your mind to be able to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, it will wake up at 6 o'clock. You don't need to put an alarm before going to bed. Try this small little thing. Just tell your subconscious mind that to wake you up at 6 a.m. in the morning. Mind is very intelligent. Okay, so you will not need to put an alarm. Try this today. Tell your mind that subconscious mind that it should wake you up at 6 a.m. You will wake up at 6 a.m. So please use the power of this kind of a mind to train your body that you are stress free. So for this, mind is like heart. Mind is again something that overworks all the time. So you have to give it some rest, because mind तो जब आप सोते हो ना तब भी काम कर रहा होता है. ड्रीम्स होती हैं, केमिकल्स एसिमुलेट कर रहा होता है, ब्रेन के सारी फैक्ट्रीज खुली हुई होती है, हार्मोन सिंथेसाइज हो रहा होता है हाइपोथैलेमस पिट्यूटरी में, पीनल ग्लैंड में, एड्रीनल ग्लैंड्स में. माइंड बहुत ज्यादा वर्क करता है. So it's dreaming, it is assimilating information. Okay, so just quiet your mind in the awake, in your consciousness state. So that will give you a major effect on lowering the stress level of your body, and you will see that your medication comes down drastically, because all diseases in today's time are born out of stress. Okay, so meditation really works well, which is just quieting your mind. How to do it is you just have to quiet your mind. So try not to think about it. Focus on something. Focus on the sound of the fan. Focus on the music. You can plug in your ears with some. There are various YouTube meditation videos of 10 and 15 minutes. You can try Deepak Chopra's meditation. Those of you who follow BK Shivani can go on BK Shivani's meditation video, where you have to close your eyes, lie down, just listen to them. Okay, and don't let mind think about anything else at that point of time. That would surely help you drastically in making you lose weight, in reducing your stress, in reducing your tension, depression, fear, anxiety, in release of your happy hormones, in making you peaceful, in giving you a good sleep, and basically maintaining your good circadian rhythm. ओके, आपका एंगर मैनेजमेंट और वो सब भी ठीक ठाक हो जाएगा बहुत अच्छे से. Whenever you try anything in yoga, we've learned that when you continuously do something for 21 days at a stretch, then it starts calling you by itself. Okay, but that 21 days circle you have to kind of complete at least. Okay, so that is what it is from me. So we'll just take the Q&A. Okay, so Abha, you've asked about the supplement of D3 deficiency. So this is a very common epidemic that is happening. More than corona patients, I think we are D3 deficient patients around the world right now. So every second person, I've not seen a normal D3 report till date in the last 5 years. Not a single person. Even people who thought that they're very healthy, even they don't have a normal D3 report. So when we talk about the D3, when you start waking up in the morning, at the time when the sunrise is happening, so at that point of time, जब उसकी रोशनी, you don't have to be directly in the sun. अगर आप 15 to 20% उसकी रोशनी आपकी body के ऊपर भी पड़ेगी, when your body is about 30% exposed it has to be. Okay, your legs have to be bare, your arms have to be bare, your face and neck has to be bare. Even if this much अगर आपका खुला रहता है और अगर उस टाइम की रेज आपकी बॉडी पे पड़ती है, your D3 gets cured to a large extent. But if you want to take the vitamin D3 like pills or supplements also, it so much depends upon what the level is. I will not be able to tell you the exact level. If it is less than 10, then you have to take the calcirol sachet, which is once in a week, with milk, say every Sunday with milk early in the morning. So लेना पड़ता है. But then अगर आपको बहुत ज़्यादा 10 के ऊपर है अगर आपका, then calcirol sachet once in 15 days आप ले सकते हो. Otherwise you can just be on osteocalcium 4. So at different levels, different dosages, so I can't really generalize, but yeah, I would still recommend you to actually normalize it, going for a morning workout or a morning walk in outside area, not really directly under the sun, but even जब सूरज की रोशनी आपके ऊपर पड़ती है, sun rays ना भी पड़े तो चलेगा, even that cures the D3 deficiency, and it should be there for about 15 to 20 minutes per day. So Priyanka, your question is that 55% of the cocoa in dark chocolate is good. No, we give more than 75%. For the heart patient, it has to be more than 75%. So Shaheen, your question is that why did I suggest dark chocolate for low BP? Because cocoa and flavonoids